Hi, I'm Angela Edmonds from siplifeslowly.com, and I'm going to tell you about a blog series. But first I have to ask you a question. What would you say to somebody that you really care about if they were to tell you, I'm not so sure that I believe in God? How do you know that He's real? What would you say to that person? The reason I'm mentioning that question is because it's exactly what my son asked me one night when I was tucking him in. He said the same thing I mentioned, Mommy, I don't know if I believe in God. How do you know that God is real? So I just sat on the edge of his bed and I told him stories. I told him stories from my own life and from the lives of people that I've known and respected throughout my life. Stories that I know that it was God who showed up. It had to have been God. And the next night, he asked for more of these stories. And the night after that, and the night after that. We call them God stories. Stories about how God has worked in a way that we know it could only have been God. And so we've told these stories, and now he has stories of his own. And so this God Story project, it's a project of both me and my son, where we want to tell our stories and other people's stories. They're God stories. Stories about how God has shown up in our lives in real time. If you know the Lord, then you have these God stories of your own to tell. You have stories of how God saved you, of how He's protected you and worked in your life. We hope that these stories will encourage you to tell your own stories, to help you to engage deeply in the relationships that matter to you, embrace wholly those relationships, connecting on a deeper level with the people in your world, and to help you delight lavishly in what God's doing, the little things and the big things. Overall, we hope you are encouraged, that you have more stories about how God's working in our lives, and that your faith is deepened. So we hope you enjoy the God stories that we share on the blog in the weeks to come.